Warning. The language used on The Real Rush may be offensive to some viewers. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you.
Alright, y'all. Let's go back to the Popeye's chicken sandwich real quick, like we done left something with the joint. So by now, everybody's seen a commercial of everybody taking a taste of the chicken sandwich and what it makes them feel. You know, look at you looking all special. And there's even that one woman talk about, I'm experiencing some things right now after she taking a bite of the shit, looking like she's about to pass out, sweating. Well, yeah, you experiencing some shit right now, woman. What you are experiencing are the beginnings of a diabetic coma. I suggest you seek immediate fucking medical attention. And once you get your insulin levels back up to par and shit, come on back here to the Real Rush and bang your head to the opening riff.
Shut up and sit down.
Y'all, it is your boy J-Dub, the DC Metro movie MVP, and welcome to episode 72 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. And not only is it episode 72, for this is the 2K20 Rush Oscars special, y'all. Welcome to the Oscar special. Yes, you must try the Oscar special. Yes, you must try the hostage special. Yes, you must try the hostage special. I fucking love that clip right there, y'all. But yeah, it is the Oscars 2K20 special. So we got a whole bunch of shit to get down to here. We got milestones. Milestones that we'd cross. We'll stick with milestones right now. First and foremost, this past Thursday at the movies, y'all, was our 160th. That's 160. I'm not going to try to draw it because I know it ain't going to come up right. That's 160. 160 Thursdays in a row at the box office has been yo boy. The streak remains going. So we keep that part rolling there. Alright, what else we got going on here? Ooh! Wait, too. Let me flash back to something that I said last week. What did I say last week? What did I say last week? 47 out of all of this year's nominations that your boy has seen out of the total 53 Oscar nominated films this year. So, will we see the remaining 6 within the next 2 weeks? 2 weeks? No, excuse me. The next, not even week and a half before the Oscars? We'll see. We're going to try to knock these out. So, as of this time last weekend, your boy has seen 47 out of this year's 53 nominated features, that's shorts and feature films, for this year's Oscars. As of this past Wednesday, I believe it was. Was it Wednesday? It was Wednesday, yes. Wednesday. Out of nowhere, like an RKO from my boy Randall Keith Alton, Amazon Prime drops The Cave, which is up for Best Documentary, Best Documentary Feature. Yes, Best Documentary Feature this year. It dropped that for rent on Wednesday. That was one of the ones that we were missing. That brought our total up to 48 out of 53 nominees seen, which tied us with last year's Rush Oscar viewing completion percentage, rating, score, what have you. I say tied. That's past tense, because as of last night, again out of nowhere, like an RKO from my boy Randall Keith Alton, Cinema Arts, they dropped the documentary short films, which is an ever elusive category to the Real Rush, y'all. Has been ever since the inception of the Real Rush back in 2017. But since we completed that, check this shit out. That's a couple first time evers for the Rush in Rush history. First off, that means that for the first time ever in real Rush history, the best documentary short category cleared 100% completion, which also means for the first time in real Rush history, all short films nominated for the Oscars have been viewed by your boy, which means that not only does only one nominee remain unseen, Corpus Christi, that is our great white buffalo. If for some, if by in the graces of God or the powers that be within the next 24 hours, I can somehow view this before the Oscars. Actually, we have less than 24 hours. And get us to that 100% completion percentage, that would be great. But right now, Corpus Christi is a great white buffalo. But all that being said, that means that if you've already done the math in your head, that means that your boy viewed 52 out of this year's 53 nominated films, which brings us to a completion percentage rating of 98.1%. Holy shit. So not only does that make season 3 of The Real Rush officially a success, because if you remember, as I've stated many times before, the basis that The Real Rush was founded on was so I could see, just to see for myself, if I could see between the time that the Oscars were, that the Oscar nominations were announced back in 2017 to the time that we actually had the Oscars in 2017, all I wanted to do was actually see all the Best Picture nominees before the Oscars. Just the Best Picture nominees. Just the Best Picture nominees. Okay, there were only like 9 or 10 of them that year. Maybe there were 11, but no more than 11. We've come a long way, y'all. We've transcended past the Best Picture category across the entire Oscar goddamn nomination board. Look at this fucking checklist. 98.1% completed. Success. And it feels so good. So we gon' keep on celebrating on. And that's why I call myself the DC Metro Movie MVP. I don't know anybody else with a completion percentage like that. The only person I can think of in the world that has a completion percentage that close would be like Drew Brees, and his shit was like 74% a couple seasons ago. So we got that by 24%, so we're gonna keep rolling with that. That's why your boy is Le Movie Champion, Le Movie MVP, all types of shit. I feel like I need my own tops or upper deck card or something, you know, get me on it, you know, like passing a fucking football or swinging a bat or, you know, balling, some shit like that, but, you know, champion, baby. So thank y'all for helping keep this momentum rolling. And before we actually get down to where the 52 out of the 53 nominations that we've seen this year so far, well, that we've seen this year, lead us to, which is eventually going to lead us to tomorrow night's Oscars. But before we get down to my official Oscar predictions for this year, let's go ahead and get on down to the brass tacks of this week's episode 72 ticket. Because we do actually have some movies to review for y'all here this week. And I want to kick things off here with the latest in the DC Films universe, I guess you could say. This joint is called, and that what I'm about to say is rhyme. I'm about to say it's going to rhyme, because as I said, as you can say, this movie is called Birds of Prey. And Birds of Prey follows the adventures, or misadventures, I should say, of one Harley Quinn, as the full title suggests. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Well, she's broken up with the Joker, y'all. She's broken up with Mr. J. And because of that, that protection, that immunity, all that shit that she had, that shit is gone. It's out the window. So not only does she have people looking for her, but everybody and their mama is also in their pursuit of this rare diamond. And if they can get their hands on this diamond, y'all, then all types of fortune may be with them. So, is it going to be Harley Quinn who finds it first? Is it going to be Ewan McGregor's evil fucking narcissistic character who finds it first? Or one of the many other cast of characters who are joining us on this fantabulous journey? So we have the lovely Miss Margot Robbie returning as Harley Quinn. We also have in this movie, we have Rosie Perez, we have Journey Smollett-Bell, I just stated a moment ago, we have Ewan McGregor, we have Mary Elizabeth Winstead looking hot as fuck, when she never looking hot as fuck, but damn does she look hot as fuck as the Huntress, and Birds of Prey, off the chain, yo. And a lot of people were going into this with a little bit of timidness, I guess you could say. And why would that be? Because Suicide Squad was not well received. And we all know the mentality of society nowadays. If one movie is not well received by the masses, then any movie that comes succeeding after that must automatically suck, right? Even if the original one didn't suck. Personally, I fucking love Suicide Squad. We'll get to that story at a later time. You can ask me about that and I'll lay it down for you on why I enjoy Suicide Squad so much. But there were plenty of other people that enjoyed Suicide Squad as well. But since the word had already gotten out, that negative word was already out about the movie, that's really hard to turn around. Look at last year's Venom, even though the masses did a really good job of turning that around. Yet I digress. So don't let that keep you from going to see Birds of Prey. I will state this. If I had to compare Birds of Prey to Suicide Squad, there would be a greater than symbol right in between Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad. I do believe that Birds of Prey is a better film. I'm going to tell you why. Margot Robbie holding it down as Harley Quinn. We already knew that she could hold it down as Harley Quinn. She was one of the top focuses of Suicide Squad. That was one of the few things that everybody could agree on about Suicide Squad, was that Margot Robbie absolutely killed it as Harley Quinn. But now you also have Ewan McGregor, Black Mask, evil villain, as I stated a couple moments ago, narcissistic as fuck, and boy does he play the hell out of that role. The action sequences in it, and some of the cinematography in it, as a matter of fact, kind of reminded me of that. And since we're fresh off of seeing The Gentleman just a couple weeks ago, it almost had the feel of a Guy Ritchie movie if he were to do a comic book adaptation. And the soundtrack to this joint, woo! Funky, sexy, and it fits perfect with the feel of Birds of Prey, y'all. Now this isn't, honestly right now, this isn't getting like the best numbers at the box office right now. Now, I understand, it's Oscars weekend, a lot of people aren't flocking to the box office right now, but yo, honestly, I have to say that this should be a blockbuster waiting to happen. This should be a February blockbuster without a shadow of a doubt. Just nobody's flocking to see the Birds of Prey. Pun totally intended. Y'all are missing out on some shit. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. It will make you laugh. And the best part about Birds of Prey is the camp factor. It has almost all the campiness factor of an episode of the 1960s Batman film, with all pretty much without having like the whoop and the bang and the sound effects and shit actually appearing on the screen. Or do they? I actually had to ask that question because I don't remember. I want to see Birds of Prey again because there's so much shit that happens in this movie. It's so demented and so fast paced. If you're on drugs while you watch this movie, you're already fucked up. This is going to send you to another plane. If you're not, it's going to make you feel like you're on drugs, or it's going to make you feel like you wish you had some. All in all, highly entertaining, highly enjoyable, like an animated cartoon come to life for adults. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Go check this shit out, y'all. Somebody did ask me this online a couple days ago. They asked me, is this movie one that you can bring your kids to? 100% absolutely fucking not. I mean, if you have good parental guidance, then yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, I grew up watching shit like this when I was real young, and I think I turned out okay. For the masses, though, once again, use your parental guidance. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say, you can go ahead and bring them. Would I recommend, exposing to that much shit? It's probably not the best idea. Just saying. But, once again, use your guidance, man. Use your guidance, woman. And maybe explain to the kids what happens, but let's not go down that rabbit hole. All in all, mostly for the adults. Kids, you've been warned. Overall, Birds of Prey, fucking fantastic, y'all. Go check it out. Have yourselves a good time. And get back at your boy on what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, and we will converse from there. But right now, Birds of Prey, it's playing everywhere, even in IMAX. And as I stated last week, we were supposed to see this up at the Airbus, but due to timing and scheduling conflicts, we're not able to do that. So we actually got to see another big blockbuster at the Angelica. And speaking of the Angelica, Birds of Prey was our main event at the Angelica on Thursday night. So if that was a main event on Thursday night, then that means that there must have been a movie beforehand. Well, we did see a movie beforehand at the Angelica. And we saw a new drama. Takes a look into that of workplace culture. And this movie is called The Assistant. Now, The Assistant follows a day in the life of an office assistant for a film production company. And this office assistant played by Julia Garner. And it follows her as, we're watching her through her daily duties. But at the same time, it offers a much in-depth look at an extremely toxic, also narcissistic and just ruthless, not healthy work environment. But not just a look into that kind of environment, but the kind of effect that it has on people, such as the character that Julia Garner portrays, and not only the effect that it has on her character, but what it does as far as, speaking up about such things in the workplace. Now, personally speaking, having held many jobs over the years myself, mostly good, some not so hot, but I can highly attest that, being in office culture, that I've seen some toxic alpha, and I can't even just say alpha male shit, because there are some alpha females out there as well that could be toxic to a work environment. This movie does a fantastic job of portraying that on camera, and I can say that wholeheartedly because I walked away from this movie white-knuckled, infuriated, y'all. Now, while I have removed myself from such a toxic work environment, it still touched me in that way. And if a movie can get a message like that across, and this does deal with like some Weinstein shit that we've heard that's been going on in the headlines, and it's not just happening in the movie industry, y'all. This is happening across the board in all types of office environments all over America. It's just the movie industry just happens to be what's spoken about on the news, what's being reported about. So this type of thing is happening all across the nation. I firmly believe this because I fucking witnessed it. But not to go too personal into that, but let what I just said be an attest to how this movie made me feel, and how it may make you feel walking away from this. Bringing up those type of feelings, this is a movie for this day and age, one that does need to be seen, and hopefully something that, people will see, and maybe they'll be able to identify that with some of the things that are going on in their own environments that they don't feel comfortable bringing up or talking about, what have you. But this is something that is near and dear important, not just to my heart, but I think on the hearts and minds of everybody in society nowadays. And if it isn't, it fucking should be, because it is a serious issue that does need to be made aware of without going too deep into the movie. It's almost as if it's almost as if you weren't really watching like actors and actresses on film. It's like they just placed the camera in. It was very real life, very true to life, extremely accurate, and that's the scary thing about this movie, y'all. This is currently in limited release. As I stated, we saw it up at the Angelica a couple nights ago. This needs a wider release. In order for this to get a wider release, more people are going to need to see it. This is possibly the most important movie of the year so far. Can't stress that enough. The Assistant. Check your IMDb, check your Fandango if you're not in the DC metropolitan area and you do not have access to the Angelica Film Center. But most certainly, check out The Assistant. Just be warned, there are a lot of triggers in this movie. But let that fuel the fire. Maybe this will get some discussions going. Maybe this will get some conversations going. Maybe this will make people not so afraid to speak up about things that are happening in their respective environments. And if it doesn't help them speak up, maybe it'll help them be not so fearful to remove themselves from that environment. But overall, outstanding job with The Assistant. Bravo, bravo. Check that shit out where you can find it, y'all. Okay. Moving right along, what's next on this episode's Real Rush Ticket? Ooh, we got some foreign language up. Foreign language coming up here, y'all. This one was highly anticipated by your boy for the last couple months. Every time I saw the trailer, it just made me want to see this movie more and more and more. This joint is called The Traitor. Now, The Traitor is based on the true story of Tommaso Buscetta, played in The Traitor by Pierfrancesco Favino. And this tells the story about how Buscetta, who was once a major boss in the underworld of La Costa Nostra. Let me do that again. La Costa Nostra. I probably still didn't say that right. One more time. La Costa Nostra. They're gonna fucking cut my head off if I don't get this shit right. The Mafia, goddammit. Costa Nostra. There, I said it. Costa Nostra. There you go. So, this follows his true story about how he went from being a huge boss of the underworld to turning informant on the underworld. And my God, was this a compelling 2.5 hours that I spent at Cinema Arch yesterday watching this film, y'all. This is playing at Cinema Arts, and this is playing at Angelica. And like the director of Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, said at the Golden Globes a couple weeks ago, if you could get past that 1-inch barrier of subtitles, there's a whole nother world of cinematic stories out there just waiting to be told to you. And this is The Traitor is a prime example of that right there. As I stated, compelling story, y'all. Edge of your seat all the way. It's got all the feel of a gangster drama, but also mixing with that of a legal drama. You put them two elements together, baby, and it's a 2.5 hour bombshell on screen, y'all. IMDb Fandango this if you are not in the DC metropolitan area, and if you do not have access to Cinema Arts and or the Angelica in the DC metropolitan area, so that way you can find out where the hell this is playing and go check out The Traitor as soon as possible, y'all. You will not be disappointed. I love this movie. I want to go see The Traitor again. The Traitor, awesome, y'all. Great shit. Go check it out soon as possible. Last but certainly not least on this episode's Real Rush Ticket, as I stated a couple moments ago, Cinema Arts dropped for this weekend, and I'm not sure if it's only for this weekend since the Oscars are this weekend. They dropped the ShortsTV Oscar-nominated Best Documentary Shorts of 2K20 this year. So we got to view those last night. Now those go as follows. I'm not going to break them down, too terribly much, because we're going to, in a couple moments here, we're actually going to get to my actual official Oscar predictions. But as far as the best documentary shorts go, the nominees are, and we'll break it down for you a little bit. In the Absence, this tells the story of the Seawall ferry disaster a couple years ago and the response, or lack thereof, to it. Learning how to skateboard in a war zone, in parenthesis, if you're a girl. And this talks about the little girls in Afghanistan who are standing up for their right to not only learn to read and write, but how to express themselves through skateboarding as well. Life Overtakes Me, which studies children in Sweden who are suffering from resignation syndrome. St. Louis Superman. This follows the life of a man who is now a representative for the state of Missouri, but didn't see himself doing that a couple years ago. He was only inspired to get into politics after the murder of Mike Brown in Ferguson, Missouri a couple years ago. And Walk, Run, Cha-Cha, which follows the life of a Vietnamese refugee couple who fled to the United States some years ago, and how they're using their love of dance to make sure their romantic bond stays strong. Yo. The way that they broke these down and had them play, they did Life Overtakes Me first, then Learning the Skateboard, then In the Absence, then Walk, Run, Cha-Cha, then St. Louis Superman. And the way that they put that card together was perfect. They needed that kind of balance because it was an emotional wow all the damn way. Which one of these was the best? We gonna get to that here in a second. But all in all, every single one of these, they hit you emotionally in some way, shape, or form. My eyes were all puffy as I walked out of Cinema Arts Theater again last night. ShortsTV, thank you for another amazing year of fucking Oscar-nominated awesome shit. Thank you for bringing it to us here in the Northern Virginia, D.C. metropolitan area. Thank you once again, y'all. Which brings us to, it's time for the official Real Rush Oscars 2K20 predictions, baby. 92nd Academy Oscars. I got my ballot right here, baby. And guess what? We ain't gonna break these down for you live on TV like we did last year because it takes too goddamn long. And guess what the hell else? For the first time outside of the Best Picture category in Real Rush history, I actually sat down and came up with one pick for each category outside of the Best Picture category. And I say that because in years past, it's been a tough competition where I've had to, say like, well, I got this pick for my first pick and this pick for... No, we ain't doing all that shit this year. So we got one pick for each of the categories except for Best Picture, and we'll explain that when we get to the Best Picture category. So, let's go ahead, and we ain't even gonna go through the nominees, we're just gonna go through the categories and what we're fucking picking to win. So here we go. Best Visual Effects, I'm going with 1917. Best Sound Mixing, Ad Astra. Best Sound Editing, Ford vs. Ferrari. Best Short Live Action, Nefta Football Club. We're rooting for you, baby. Best Short Animated, I'm going with Hair Love because it was I saw it, that was the one I saw twice and it hit me just as hard the second time as it did the first time. I got your back, Hair Love. Best Production Design, this one was a little bit of a tough one. Between Jojo Rabbit 1917 and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, those were my three tiebreakers. You also had The Irishman and Parasite in there as well, but I'm going with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because Tarantino actually took Los Angeles and transformed shit into 1969 Los Angeles. Great job, Mr. Tarantino. Got your back, baby. Best Original Song. Now, I flip-flopped from my pick from the Golden Globes for this one. After hearing it a couple more times, it really is a good song. So, even though I picked Into the Unknown from Frozen 2 for Golden Globes, I am hereby changing my pick. And not just because it won at the damn Golden Globes, it really is a good song. I'm changing my pick to I'm Gonna Love Me Again from Rocket Man for Best Original Song. Best Original Score, Motherless Brooklyn by Daniel Pemberton was not nominated. I probably would have picked him again. But we're gonna go with Joker for Best Original Score. That one, Best Original Score for the Golden Globe. So we're going with Best Original Score, Joker, for the Academy Awards. Best hairstyle and making. Let's do that again. Best makeup and hairstyling. I'm going with Bombshell. Best international feature film. Another tough category. It came down to either Pain and Glory or Parasite. I'm going with Parasite. Best film editing. I'm going with The Irishman, because if you throw Thelma Schoonmaker's name into the category, that's usually, she's already got that in the bag. Best documentary short. This was a close call between In the Absence and St. Louis Superman, and even a little Learning to Skateboard. I'm going with St. Louis Superman. Just found out before I went on camera here, the director of St. Louis Superman is from DC, baby. We're rooting for you, yo. Best documentary feature. Again, this came down to close call between American Factory, For Sama, and Honeyland. Really, in between American Factory and Honeyland, I'm going with American Factory. For best costume design, I'm going with Jojo Rabbit. Best cinematography, I'm going with The Lighthouse. That's the only thing that The Lighthouse got nominated for, which surprises the shit out of me. Best animated feature, there's another one that I'm changing my pick on. I'm changing it to Missing Link. Because, yes, the Golden Globes did get that right. And I think that Missing Link, just like Kubo, same studio a couple years ago. Nobody saw Kubo winning that shit a couple years ago at the Oscars. I think Missing Link's going to walk away with that again as well over Toy Story 4. I know. Yeah. And I'm surprised Frozen 2 didn't even get nominated. Let's go to the screenplays. Best Adapted Screenplay. I'm going with Jojo Rabbit, Taika Waititi. Best Original Screenplay. This was a tough one too, because you add Knives Out into the category, but you also have Marriage Story, which is who I picked. I picked Noah Baumbach winning Best Screenplay at the Golden Globes, but I'm changing my pick. I'm going Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino. I got your back, boy. Best Supporting Actress. I'm going with Scarlett Johansson and Jojo Rabbit. Best Actress. I had Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story at the Golden Globes. I did switch it. I'm going with Renee Zellweger for Judy. Best Supporting Actor. I'm sticking with Tom Hanks as Mr. Rogers for Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Best Actor. I'm sticking with Joaquin Phoenix for Joker. I still think that he has that shit in the bag 199%. Best Director. Another tough call between Tarantino and Mendes, but I gotta go with Sam Mendes for 1917. And last but most certainly not least, y'all, the Best Picture category. And this is where I say that I had multiple picks, because there's what I think should win, what will win, and then there's always a sleeper pick. Now sometimes this can result in 3 picks like it does this year. So, personally, I'm rooting for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What is going to win Best Picture? More than likely, that's going to go to 1917. But let's not forget about the sleeper. There's always a sleeper, and the sleeper has won the last fucking 3 years, man. I don't know if I would consider Moonlight a sleeper. That was more of a flub up with the envelope shit. I'm still a little about that one. But think about 2 years ago. Nobody saw The Shape of Water win it. Won Best Picture. Out of nowhere. Last year, nobody saw Green Book win it. That took home Best Picture. This year, the sleeper pick, I'm going with Parasite, y'all. I think Parasite does have a really good chance of walking away with both Best International Feature Film and Best Picture. And if it does so, this would be the first ever foreign language film to walk away with the Best Picture award. So once again, to break down that category, I'm rooting for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but there are 2 other picks, 3 picks, remember. 3 picks. First pick, the one I'm rooting for, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Who is going to win? That's the second pick, 1917, but then you got the sleeper, Parasite. Boom. There you have it, ladies and gents. Those are the Rush official Oscar picks of 2020, 2K20 for the 92nd Academy Awards. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. This is my Super Bowl. This is my WrestleMania, goddammit. Tune in to the Oscars later on tonight, because by the time you see this episode, it will be Sunday. Tune in to the Oscars tonight, 8 o'clock on ABC. And join in the fun with your boy. Can't wait, y'all. It's tonight. Don't forget that the third Friday of the month Bandit Show is coming your way in just a few weeks, ladies and gents, on February 21st up at the Stagecoach Theater Company in Ashburn, Virginia. Tickets are currently on sale online, and they'll be on sale at the door. $12 online, $15 at the door. But you go online to get your tickets, use the promo code John, John, my name, all caps, wear that shit the fuck out, you get yourself a discount. Where can you go online to get your tickets at? You can find your tickets at stagecoachtc.com/stagecoach-bandits. Once again, that is stagecoach, T as in Tom, C as in coach.com/stagecoach-bandits. Promo code John, John, all caps. Wear that shit the fuck out. Come out and have a good time. Please join us here next week on episode 73, where we will have reviewed for you Sonic the Hedgehog, Fantasy Island, Downhill, The Photograph, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which was up for Best Foreign Language Film at the Golden Globes this year. And we'll also have the aftermath and the results for this year's Oscars. But in the meantime, y'all, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any shit like that, feel free to type those on into the YouTube page where you're reviewing this week's episode right here, right now. For those who have subscribed to the Real Rush Show on YouTube, thank you for have done so. Whatever. If you haven't done so yet, what the hell are you waiting for? Please hit that subscribe button so you can be the first to know when your boy drops a new episode. And please spread the word of the Real Rush like everybody should be spreading love these days, ladies and gents. So hug a motherfucker and let them know about the Real Rush. Plus, don't forget that the Real Rush has replay value. You want to know what your boy thought about a movie? All you gotta do is go up to the YouTube search bar, type in quotation marks, The Real Rush, followed by, outside of quotation marks, the name of the movie that you're looking for, and then boom! Instant movie review on demand for you, because the Real Rush and J-Dub got you covered for life, son! And as always, you can follow your boy on Instagram for my live movie check-ins as they occur. And you can follow your boy at J-Dub Champion, hashtag The Real Rush. And for The Real Rush, ladies and gents, I am your boy J-Dub. Thank you for joining us here on our 2K20 Oscars special, episode 72 of The Real Rush right here on YouTube. Remember, when you're at the movies and while you're watching the Oscars later on tonight, chill the fuck out, relax, ain't no need to be doing all the chitting and the chatting and looking at the smartwatches and the phone and all that. Put all that shit away. Any conversations, texts, and time, all that shit will be waiting for you after the movies are all said and done. I guarantees it. Enjoy yourselves at the movies and with the Oscars later on tonight, y'all. Have fun, y'all. Love J-Dub. And